Hey there, cosmonauts. Crowdfunding has been one of the major developments in, well, effectively the past decade that made game development not just something done by the very large studios, but also something that we as normal people could influence. Some of the best projects and most amazing games released in recent years were essentially crowdfunded on Kickstarter, Indiegogo, or a different platform that basically had the same idea. But like with all good things, there's always downsides as well. And with crowdfunding, there are generally two. You have the scams, which are things like Dreamworld, to a lesser extent Chronicles of Valeria, but also more recently games like Earth 2, After Earth, Earthium, basically anything you can attach the word Earth to or universe. It's probably a name for a metaverse project, which is outright scammy. I'm probably going to get some kind of regulation in the future. But then there's also a second category that isn't quite as malevolent but more innocent, and that's well-meaning people who really do have great ideas, but they really underestimate what it takes to develop a major game in general, but especially a massive multiplayer online role-playing game. So today we are going to be taking a look at one of these games that from the start seems pretty obviously that it's set to fail, but whether it's a scam or if it's the more innocent kind, that's more difficult to say. The game is called Advent Genesis Era of Chaos. It started a few days ago on Kickstarter. It has 8 backers so far who have provided 10,000 euros on a 254,000 euro pledge goal. Now, based on just the amount and some of the things they want to provide, I can already say this game is not going to see the light of life, because it takes millions even for large studios to produce an MMO, and basically some of the features they want to offer here is beyond even the most advanced games we've seen from those major studios. So yeah, that it's going to fail is pretty obvious, but whether it's a scam or the more innocent kind, that's difficult to see. And I kind of want to take a look at it with you together to see whether it's worth any kind of investment or if you should stay far away. So that's what we're going to do. I've made the Kickstarter available, so let's just take a look. Okay, so looking things over, you can already see that they have a fairly basic image going there. Usually you want to start one of these projects off with a trailer to show off what kind of game asset you've prepared, perhaps even show some gameplay footage already, but as we're going to see fairly soon, they don't have any of that. And so yeah, here you can see the pledge goal. I think it was only set in dollars, so yeah, okay, it was originally a $300,000 pledge goal, and from that $11,700 has been deposited, which when converted to euros comes down to 10,000 euros and 254,000 euros as the pledge goal. So let's move on. Okay, let's see. What is our game? Advent Genesis Era of Chaos. Our game is an MMORPG experience. I know it's kind of nitpicky, but they're asking us for money here. So at least you'd expect the professionalism of capitalizing the MMORPG parts. It's a really minor thing, but it kind of immediately gives away that we're dealing more with hobbyists here than actual professionals. So, converging several realms of engaging thematic gameplay, this dynamic world consists of 7 eras characterized by time, joined by cataclysmic circumstances. Now, each era must utilize their unique traits and technologies in order to survive within the merging dimension, and the player must journey to discover the truth behind this fractured world and decide the fate of our new reality. Now, I'd like to consider myself a fairly smart guy, but I didn't quite understand what they're actually saying here that the background of the game is. Like, it's clear they've thought about it, but yeah, I can't really, based on this description, get an image of what we should be expecting as far as the game. So yeah, that's really not a great way to start your introduction. So what makes your game unique? Individual eras are characterized by exclusive biomes consisting of unique cities, cultures, quests, items, creatures and dialogue. Kind of interesting, but definitely development intensive. Players will choose their own adventure through an algorithm-enriched character creation system known as the Test of Fate. Grow your unique character with age progression and more than 30 races, 10 classes and 50 subclasses that could be chosen for you based on your responses on the Test of Fate. So basically they're saying that the game will decide for me what kind of character I'm going to be playing. So there's definitely some kind of character creation system where you have choices, but I'm guessing that's probably more the cosmetic choices, because based on the rest of the text, the stuff that actually matters, the kind of class you're going to be playing, the subclass, the general gameplay style, apparently gets chosen for you. So they have some art here. I'm guessing these are races. So the Lightning, Genasi, Cambion. It's really very basic art. Like, the art is definitely pretty, but these aren't anywhere near animation models. The Nephilim, so an angel race. Yeah, okay, kind of makes sense. This new and innovative game will utilize an intricate algorithm-based random quest generator to give each player a unique approach to various aspects of the game world, including introductory quests, daily quests, side quests, and even some of the main story-based quests. All this is set up in order to give the users their own custom adventure. Now, that kind of sounds great in theory, like a unique kind of quest experience every time you start a new character is pretty much the dream, because that's starting at square one every time you start a game. But is it feasible? Like, some of the things that make the quest from Final Fantasy XIV memorable, but also games like World of Warcraft, which in the past had really well considered storylines, and one of the things was just how refined those stories were. And if you add randomness to that equation, is it really possible to get the same kind of results? I definitely don't think the artificial intelligence technology as such that we have right now are anywhere on the level that makes that possible, and certainly not on a $300,000 budget. Okay, so they have a cyborg race, so there's definitely going to be something futuristic as well, so merging of different genres, that's challenging. NPC partners assist gameplay and match player progression with specialized transformative powers through currency generation, item handling, combat assistance and transport. Leveling your partner offers distinct evolutions including combined specialized abilities. Again, NPC has to be all capitalized, and so I guess these are basically followers, and so they match your player progression, but special transformative powers? Again, doesn't really make a lot of sense. Okay, every game has dwarves, of course. Hobgoblin. Guessing that's some kind of techified goblin, maybe. Okay, so that was basically the general introduction of how the game is going to work. Then other features included in the game. Players will have the opportunity to advance their character's political standing in a monarchy or patriarchy-based government system in accordance with each era. So basically, each of these kingdoms is going to have its own unique government system that the player is going to be able to take part in. And, well, I mean, every one of us who has played MMOs knows that the player base generally doesn't work in the general good of the game, but just does things for the lols. And I can't really see that going well. I've seen some of the Noble Guild RPGs on Argenton in the WoW Europe servers, and that was never a good thing. Okay, each character will experience a unique era-exclusive origin story and interactive tutorial. Okay, so that's just unique race quests, I'm guessing. Player characters will be able to marry, reproduce, and progressively age. Okay, so if you're able to marry, that's not that uncommon. Final Fantasy has a system like that. Reproduce, so who is our children going to be NPCs, or and who will own them? And so progressively aging, I don't think I've seen that in an MMO yet, but it's not too difficult a system to design, though you are adding quite a bit of expense because each life stage has to be developed as far as animations goes, characters. And you also have to wonder if someone reaches old age, if they're still going to be capable of adventuring like they are at an earlier age. So, yeah. The life and death of each character will utilize a lineage respawn system that allows the player to continue adventuring through their offspring. In the event that the character does not have a child descendant, an orphan child will be selected by the player to represent the continuation of the dead character's spirit. Okay, so they're basically saying the moment your character dies, it's done permadeath, and you're going to have a descendant if you actually want to continue within your lineage. And if you don't have one, you're just going to be a random new character. Okay. Era-specific strengths and weaknesses balance the playing field in regard to skills, weapons, items, and general combat. Therefore, each era has both advantages and disadvantages to being played. Okay, so they're definitely working with different time periods. So there were cyborgs, which makes me think that there's going to be some kind of futuristic era as well. I'm not sure what kind of disadvantage a futuristic cyborg era is going to have compared to medieval humans, but yeah. Most subclasses have a ranking system that allows you to improve or evolve your job into the next tier, so there's always room to improve. Okay, yeah, skill system. Not too difficult, that's definitely feasible. Hey, they did NPCs properly capitalized this time. Players and NPCs alike can issue their own quests for deliveries, monster kills, material collection, equipment sales, etc. You sign a contract with the quest giver to fulfill the demands of the quest in the agreed time and turn in the contract stamped by the player for completion to the nearest government official to receive payment. Okay, fetch quests and delivery quests. Certain classes can forge the completed contract and turn in a false document to steal the reward money and items. However, in doing so will soon create a bounty on said character based by value of goods stolen. Any character with a bounty is visible to all players on the map at all times, and if someone kills or imprisons a character with a bounty, they will receive a substantial reward and make progress towards nobility title. Okay, so in the second line they've basically already destroyed the entire system. Like, crime is always going to be a risk versus reward thing, and based on the fact that you can just complete it, I'm not guessing here the reward is very large, and meanwhile the risk is if you get killed, you're outright going to lose your entire character, or if you get imprisoned, you're going to be locked out of the game for whatever period. So there's no way that the reward can ever outweigh the risk. Resources in-game can be farmed to near extinction. Trees, plants, animals, monsters, ores, and all other sorts of materials and creatures that rely on a respawn system, if collected or killed too often in a short amount of time, will create a respawn lag to the point of all players being unable to access those resources for a set amount of time. This can be avoided if players recycle some of the materials to help rebuild the land, or if the king puts more resources into land development. Again, nice system in concept, which is going to get ruined by the players who are definitely going to be grieving. Like, I can just see it already, some person is going to waste an entire day just farming everything to hell just so they can deny anyone else the ability to advance. As an MMO, the game world is constantly changing and adapting to what the players are doing, so when you log into the game it may be entirely different than when you logged out. Again, nice system in general, but it's really difficult to program. Like, we've seen destructible environments and modifiable environments in different games, and if you do it on a graphical level like Minecraft, it's not too difficult, that's definitely possible. But if you're going to do it anywhere near the level that these other graphics are indicating that the game is going to look, it's going to be very expensive. You're going to need very good artists, and those aren't going to be able to be funded by just 300,000 euros. And that's leaving aside all the other programming work that needs to be done. Quests that you set up with a contracted player can even be completed when you are offline via your NPC partner if you allow them to access signing over quests. Okay, so the game can be played while you're gone. I guess that's kind of similar to the whole mission table system World of Warcraft had. Seems like it should be pretty easy to program, so that's definitely feasible. Your NPC partner will have various functions that are adjustable and will help you with day-to-day farming, offline revenue increasing, material collecting, and many other duties. Your partner will play the game while you are offline to make sure that even if you have a busy life, you can progress even in small amounts. However, this will always be less efficient than when you do the task yourself while logged into the game, and your partner has a limit to what they can do or collect while you're offline. Okay, that's a thing I actually kind of like. Like back when I originally started playing these games, I was a teen, like most of us probably were. And spending an entire day playing a game was definitely possible. But right now, with so many other things, it would be kind of nice to not have to log in daily and still get some progression done. But it's really important that you balance something like this properly. You don't want it to be deemed more effective to just not play and do something else with your time rather than having playing be the more profitable way. But I do seem to have thought that one out, so I'm giving the benefit of doubt. Though again, NPC has to be capitalized. Each character you create ages in-game based on the day you created it. If you stay offline for too long, you may come back to a character that has died from old age. However, all items will be transferred into a family storage, so that you may keep progressing in the game. The typical character lifespan, known as Life Force or LF, is roughly 400 real-world days. However, in-game deaths reduce your LF by a few days, each depending on your rank, level and importance in the game. Okay, so the earlier bullet point seems to imply that there's a permadeath system, because if you die, you're going to get a different character. But here they say that you have life force, and dying in-game reduces your life force. So it's one or the other, not both at the same time. Character level skills, stats, abilities and classes only improve the more you use them. Yeah, that's pretty basic. This will be a true skill-based leveling system. Every time a skill goes up a level, it will count as experience towards your main level. And when your main level goes up, you will receive skill points to use on your leveled skills. Okay, so basically the Skyrim system. Like this is just one-on-one the Skyrim leveling system. Okay, character concept art provided by Caria on Fiverr. Okay, so they don't even have their own artist, they hired someone to make it for them. But let's look at the other ones. Avian, so bird race. Catfolk, of course there's a cat race. Dark elf, always have to have one of those. Fire Genasi, kind of interesting. Elf, yeah, you have to have regular elves as well. Human, obviously. Orc, though usually that's spelled with a C, so interesting. Halfling, not sure why that is its own race, but hey. Half orc, okay, yeah, so that's a way I can get different races as well, if I consider all the mixed races. Dogfolk, hey, that's a nice balance, catfolk and dogfolk. Okay, risks and challenges. Let's see what they themselves think is going to be problematic. We would like to have the game launched by September of 2025. Okay, so we're right now in July of 2021, which means they're essentially giving themselves 4 years for game development. I mean, most MMO projects take a lot longer to build, at least proper ones, so as much as it seems a realistic time frame, I really think they're not going to be able to get any kind of game done in 4 years, not any proper game at least. Our current goal of $300,000 will cover our first 8 months of development. In order for us to keep progressing, we would require more funding after the initial amount. Okay, this makes me think they've not really thought out any kind of business plan, and they've probably not consulted a business administrator or someone who has any kind of knowledge on how to set up a business. Because when your entire pitch is the money we're going to collect right now is not going to end up in a finished product, yeah, that's really not the great way, because you're basically forcing people to buy in on the concept, and if they want to see it continue, they have to keep funding it or get other people to keep funding it, and that's not, it doesn't provide any securities. It provides no guarantees that you're actually going to be able to get any funding after those 8 months of development. So I'm not really sure if that's smart. The first thing we would do if fully funded is to hire more concept artists and game environment artists to create all the designs and biomes needed, so that we may apply them to our game, and simultaneously we will rent out lots of servers worldwide to ensure that our data can be easily accessed for development and then for gaming. Okay, so the first thing, concept artists and game environment artists. You literally just said that after 8 months you don't have the money to keep business going, essentially. those designs and biomes aren't going to give you something you can pitch to investors. Like, they want to see a demo, they want to see a concrete product. If you're going to do something like this and not secure the funding in advance, you will want to have the money invested in something that can actually get you a demo, as something concrete that people can see and think, okay, this is a real project and this is worth spending money on. And now getting lots of servers worldwide to ensure that the data can be easily accessed for development and then for gaming. So yeah, obviously once you get to the gaming stage, you're going to be needing servers, but that's only in 2025. Now for access for development, you don't need that. Like, there are so many cloud services. Let's just look up Google Workspace pricing. Yeah, business standards. You get an email service, video messaging, so you have coordination, 2 terabyte cloud storage per user. So definitely enough space for projects. From my own experience, I know that when you have shared folders, there's actually no storage limit at all. So you can really properly get stuff done. And that's only €9.36 a month. We're probably going to be about $11 or something like that. And you don't need servers for that. The cloud storage there is more than enough. I'm definitely not sure why they think they need servers for development. You need a few virtual machines to test stuff, probably, but you don't need servers to access files. Which again makes me think they didn't really think out the business plan here. The second thing would be to hire game developers to make the code required to bring those designs to life and start creating the game. That has to be your first thing. Honestly, you should have had that done already before you even started. And based on the fact that you need to hire game developers for that, makes me think that you yourself don't have any kind of development experience. So that makes me wonder, why are you involved in this project? Once the game development reaches a decent plateau, we will hire a few different story writers to help bring our vision to life. Then we will hire some musicians to compose some catchy themes and effects for our games. At this point, you're hiring so many professionals that you're looking at a budget of millions. Like, $300,000 isn't going to cut it. $1 million isn't going to cut it. I'm not even sure if $10 million is going to cut it. Let's look at what Final Fantasy cost to develop. Okay, we actually have a list here of the most expensive MMORPGs. Final Fantasy XIV, 120 million estimate. Destiny, which is a limited MMO in general, 140 million budget. Elder Scrolls Online, 200 million. Star Wars The Old Republic, 200 million. Star Citizen, 340 million and counting. I think they're actually up to 400 million something. And let's see. Firefall, even that was more than 100 million. Tabula Rasa, 100 million. Halo MMO, which was cancelled and never released, 90 million. Defiance, 80 million. Kingdom on the Fire 2, 78 million. 50 to 70 million for Rift. World of Warcraft, 63 million. Kind of surprised by that one. Bless, 61 million. DC Universe Online, 50 million. And like, yeah, of course, some of these games were developed years ago, so you're not really on the same scale. But it definitely shows that this kind of thing they want to do here, which really exceeds the systems we saw with some of the best MMOs out right now. That's not going to be doable within the kind of prices they seem to indicate. So again, makes me think they really haven't thought out how to do a business like this. As we progress in each step of development, we will post updates so that everyone can see the progress being made on this game to crush any doubts that donators may have. Yeah, that's a bare minimum. That's not really a risk or challenge. As a final note, we are searching for any game creators to join our team and help us in developing the game. We are currently hiring for all positions, which include game developer, game designer, environmental artists, character artists, musical composers, etc. So they basically have nothing and they're hiring everything. If you're interested in joining our team, please email us your resume and any previous experience you have with game development at vertec_vr@yahoo.com, and we'll reach out to you as soon as we can. You guys definitely need to get Google Workspace, because having a yahoo.com email address on your business page is... it's basically insane, honestly. So, yeah, they really haven't thought out the business side of things at all. Let's see, we are a new gaming company that are starting to develop for PC and wish to develop for VR in the future. Our main goal is to create the most impacting games of our generation. That's not really saying anything at all. Basically what they're saying is we've done nothing to indicate we're capable of finishing this, and we have no idea how we're going to finish something like this, so not a great sign. Now, something else that's usually a pretty good indicator of feasibility of the project is the kind of stuff they promise for a pledge. So let's see, pledge US $10 or more, free digital wallpaper of the game. I guess that's decent for $10. Okay, $40. At that point you get a free digital copy of the game on the day after launch. So that makes me think they're aiming for $40 retail price. $60 or more. Receive in-game title as Adventurer, so bonus to skill experience, also known as pay to win. Special bag of holding bound to one character. What's a special bag of holding? And previous benefits included, okay. $80 or more gets you beta play, so beta 2 access, a digital soundtrack of the game, digital concept art, exclusive emote for all characters and accounts, previous benefits included. $100 gives you extended play, potion of life, 300-day increase to life points. So with 400 days average, you're looking at something like 700 days. Loot collection pet. Is that like a collection pet you can loot, or a pet that will collect your loot? Previous benefits included. I'm just omitting that one from the next few parts because it's probably in all of them. $140 or more can start game with tier 2 rank subclass, so again a boost in general gameplay. Closed beta 1 access, pretty normal, though I don't think it's ever going to get to a beta 1 or a beta 2. Custom horse mount for one character can be traded between characters on the same account. Access to Discord with other people who pledged $140 or more. Okay, that's a major red flag, because that basically means the only people they want to have access to communications are the people who are invested pretty deep in the project. Special in-game pledge cloak, in-game map of city and surrounding area, pledge title in-game, higher increase to skill experience and increase to luck, so again pay to win. Pledge emote for all characters and accounts. Okay, those ones are fairly run of the mill. US $200 or more, Alpha 2 access invite only. Okay, I guess that just means that you get access to the Alpha 2, additional potion of life, so that's addition to the first one, which means you get 2. And that one's character bound, in-game plague and statue to place in your house. Okay, so they're going to do some development for you, and I'm guessing just a cosmetic item. Okay, here's where it's get interesting. Baron, Baroness title in game. Choose your town, stronghold, village and name it. So basically at that point you get ownership of, well, some kind of settlement in the game, I'm guessing. Which makes me really think what kind of control you can exert on other players from that. Again, considering the whole griefing angle. Upgrade horse mount to warhorse, equip with armor that adds ramming damage. In-game cloak that identifies you as rank. Okay, so basically a whole lot of bragging rights. That's pretty big jump from $250 to $400. So Alpha 1 access, ability to implement your own game quest line in a system that's mostly random. Okay, either general ID for us to build or your own custom scenario. Access to game developers Discord chat servers. I thought you already got access to the Discord at $140. Does that one not have developers? Okay, additional potion of life, account bound. Okay, so the other one was just tied to a character, and this one is actually tied to the account. $50 credit towards the game cash shop. Of course they have a game cash shop. $600 or more, account rank, start game as a count or countess. Create your crest of nobility, in-game cloak that identifies you as your rank. Name an in-game landmark, name your NPC attendant. As a count, countess NPCs will treat you as your level of nobility, special dialogue responses. So they don't treat barons like that, I'm guessing. Special thanks and credits as high ranking supporter. Yeah, that's basically a cookie cutter pledge award, but sure. Don't seem to be that you get control of a county, which is kind of interesting because that's usually what the count rank is for. Okay, at $800 we're looking at custom character editing. Work with the developer team to add custom features to your character and other custom features to all character creation. Okay, $100 credit towards game cash shop. Custom monster mount to replace horse mount. From this point on, your name will be recognized as a partial developer in the credits. Design subject to approval, which is for all parts. That's probably a very smart one because you don't want to give people full control on stuff that will be added to your game. That's just asking for very lewd images. $1,100 or more food creation. Special video chat access with development team and game creators. Okay. Additional custom designs for food, drinks and weapons of your own creation. So I guess they're basically fully outsourcing all the creative work to the pledges. Potion of life can be sold. Design subject to approval, of course. Major developer and supporter at $1,500. We're really going up in scale here. Can create custom equipment such as armor, shields and clothes. Name listed as major supporter and developer in credits. $200 credit towards the cash shop. Yeah, that's pretty decent as a general pledge, but I'm not sure if it's proper for that kind of money, but I've definitely seen games that do stuff like that as well, so I'm not going to be too critical of that. Special invites to game launch party. Travel expenses not covered. I'm not sure if I'm going to trust going to a game launch party on something so shady as this. Custom portrait in-game for your house of your real-life person, either realistic portrait or animated. Can create custom jewelry. Custom legendary monster mount to replace monster mount to your choice of monster. So that's a lot of design work again, which makes me think they've really not thought through how much effort it actually takes to do this stuff and how much money it takes. $3,000 or more. Custom class. Custom creation of in-game legendary relic relative to storyline. Okay, so basically another custom item. Custom creation and naming of all new class to be implemented in game with limited availability for first 6 months of game operation after launch. Potion of life can be sold, so we're up to 4 potions of life by now, I think. $300 credits towards cash shop. So I already see a major issue here, so there's no limit on this one. And so everyone who gets the $3,000 package is going to be able to create their own character. And let me see, they mentioned something about the maximum amount of characters here. 30 races, 10 classes and 50 subclasses. So assuming they mean main classes, just 10 people pledging $3,000 already means that all of the class choices are going to be out of the control of the developers. If they mean subclasses, then 50 people doing $3,000 or more means that there's going to be no real subclasses for as the main developers mean it. If 51 people pledge for the $3,000, they're already going to exceed their own limits on subclasses, and it only takes 11 people with main classes. And now, to be honest, I don't think there's going to be a lot of $3,000 pledges, but clearly these people thought that this pitch was going to be sufficient to get a lot of people to commit their money. And so they were definitely hoping for people to go for the higher tiers as well. And that really again makes clear that they haven't thought out much about how to make this concrete and how to actually do it. And that's a main problem I'm seeing here. But let's move on. $4,000, so we're definitely moving on. Duke rank. Start the game as one of the few dukes, duchesses, replaces countess. Choose your dukean world, name it and design the layout. Exclusive suit of armor, weapon and cloak for your rank. I thought we already got armor, weapons and cloak exclusive for our rank. And yeah, that's it. Limited 30, left of 30. So considering all previous benefits are included, including obviously the one of the previous level, that means here they already expect up to 30 classes being required. So again, haven't really thought through the system. Pledge US 6,000 or more. Custom creation of up to 5 unique monsters to be used as bosses or mass spawn monsters. So again, outsourcing creative work, kind of smart really if you think about it. Custom creation of 3 skills exclusive to a class of your choosing after thorough testing that you can pass down to your other characters of your choice, random players included. So that's really going to be a main problem there, because that's basically saying some players are going to be able to get abilities that no other player in the game can get, so that's definitely pay to win. Custom physical copy of the concept art of your character signed by the development team and artist. Okay. US $10,000. King rank and story. Start the game as one of 6 kings or queens. Replace this duke duchess with custom made story exclusive to kings queens. Choose your capital city, and this is capital with an A. First come first serve. Name and design the layout of your capital city. Again, outsourcing creative work. Receive digital deed to the capital city that can be sold in game if wished. Not sure if that's the right phrasing, but I'm not sure what else to put there either, so I mean, if desired is probably better. Cannot be stolen, dropped or broken. I mean, I better hope it wouldn't if it's going to set you back $10,000. But yeah, like, I guess it makes sense that you add the ability to sell it, but why don't you add the same kind of ability for city strongholds and dukies and like so? Bit inconsistent. Design custom kingdom flag and create and crest in game. Developer approval required and must be similarly themed to the era, so you don't have full custom ability there. Physical copy of the digitally rendered city with kingdom flag signed by artist and development team. Limited 5 left of 6. Someone actually spent $10,000 on this game. Let's take a look back at the funding. Okay, so taken to dollars, let's... Yeah, so $11,782 of the $300,000 goal. If someone already spent $10,000 on just the one, that means the other backers spent $1,782 on it, which comes down to about $200 per person, I'm thinking. Let me calculate that just to be sure. Okay, so yeah, each of the other players put down an average of $254. Obviously, we can't see where they put it exactly, but I think this is a bit shady, honestly. Because, like, who would go for the $10,000 option on something so recent and especially with so little backing? So I can't prove this, obviously, but I've seen this stuff done before, and I'm guessing that the people who are actually putting up this Kickstarter, so the supposed developers, bid on their own project to make it seem like it has some momentum. Again, pure conjecture, no way of proving it, but that makes the most sense to me, honestly. So, yeah. In general, if I'm going to have to rate Advent Genesis here, my money is on that it's probably not a scam, because they definitely seem to have thought out a lot of the systems. It doesn't all make sense, but they thought out the creative side of things. But they haven't really thought out how they are going to be running a business. Their entire system seems to be basically spray and pray, so get that first part in, start development, and then when we run out of money, back for more money, which honestly has become a bit of par for the industry, considering Chronicles of Valeria and even something like Star Citizen. But yeah, it's not really feasible on something like this. So I'm guessing Advent Genesis Era of Chaos. The developers mean well, but they've got no business plan. They've got no idea how to actually make this system balanced. They've got no experience developing things. They've got no idea what it takes to actually develop an MMO in general. They need to hire everything. This thing is dead on arrival. and they're not going to be developing an MMO before September 2025. I don't think they're ever going to be able to develop an MMO. Honestly, if some of the developers end up watching this video, reach out to me. I have some business background. I can actually probably get you set up with something more realistic, because sorry man, but this ain't it. Yeah. Thank you for watching this video. If you want to see more videos like these, please subscribe to this channel, and if you liked it, please leave a like and comment. Your engagement really helps me out and allows this channel to grow and help me get more videos out like it. In general, I will be working on MMORPG related videos, gaming, entertainment and general content, so if you're into that, please do return. In the meantime, I want to wish all of you a great day, and also tomorrow I'm going to be streaming on Twitch again, so feel free to join me there. We can talk about this game, other games and the MMO genre in general. I love talking to you guys, so yeah, I'll see you soon. Goodbye.